Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at thetechtrader.com, and it's Thursday night, the 21st of May. These are the charts of the day. Well, it was kind of a sloppy, choppy session, but a lot of stocks we followed did well today. Let's go over some of them looking interesting here. B Square, which was a swing trade when it popped up and pulled back, as then subsequently run from the 5.25 range up to 638 today, closing at 636 on the verge of a potential breakout and a run towards 7.5. This one looks good. I like to see the volume pick up, but the technicals is quite strong. If you can move out a little bit, you'll see that the long-term pattern on a weekly basis shows a key resistance level up at that 7.5 level that, if taken out, could lead to something even in the 910 zone. But that's the way it looks currently right now. ERN, kudos to Eric for finding this one. This stock has done very nice over the last few weeks and months. For me, this was the declining tops line that ended the bear phase on it, the breakout right there. And then after it popped through the lateral resistance, it stalled there and consolidated for near a month, as they say. And as you can see, once it got across here, that's where the real rally began. And it's moved up to resistance, pulled back, formed a wedge, and broke out again. Today up another 51 cents or 7.3%, 750,000. You notice the volume in the last 4 days, really strong volume. So there's money coming into this. And just looking at it, weekly chart quickly, you'll see that the long-term pattern shows that base pattern could be broken out. And one of the targets I'll be looking at on this one is going to be up near 15, a double from here, but that's on an intermediate basis. My immediate target must be upwards of 9 3/4. So let's keep an eye on that level. Today the stock had a nice session, and let me put a line up there for you. Right about there, I think the stock gets a little bit overbought short term, near the top of the channel up in that zone, and then we'll see what happens. But longer term, it looks pretty good. Good technicals, good chart. Habit, well, this hamburger chain did great as it broke out after spiking up IPO and then coming down hard. That pop and wedge, followed by the breakout today on a volume of 1 million, up $2.03 or 5.5%, should at least try to to test the 40.5 area, maybe even tomorrow, and then my target's 44. Jumei put out a swing trade late in the day as it pulled back and then closed well at 28.03. After I was trading, I want to show you something quite interesting. You'll note that the stock had a big spike. Earnings came out, exploded to near 31 before pulling all the way back down to 27.5. It did close at 28.20, which is a little bit above where it finished at the end of the day. So we'll have to see what it does going forward. Nevertheless, today was a breakout day from the consolidation range, and the volume picked up. I'm looking for 32.3 and maybe 35 short term. OAS, well, I'm going to show you a couple oil stocks and oil ETFs, but OAS continues to consolidate bullishly above the 50-day moving average. It needs to get through this line or that line. That zone is resistance. But if it does, a full-blown swing trade will be put on for a move to 22 and then 27.5. QNAR, this is a stock I don't talk about much. A beautiful base pattern. Look at the explosive move out of the base and big volume in here. And then the trend up. I don't think it's done yet. I'm looking for 58. RIG, another oil-related stock in a nice rising channel. Take a look at the overall structure. It looks like it wants to go again. The volume is not quite as much as it was on the sell side, so we'll be looking to see whether it can get the resistance around 20.5, and if it does, 22 and 23.5 are your targets going forward. Seadrill, another stock in the same group, had a really good day today, up $1.14, almost 9%. And if you take a look at the pattern as it were, the pullback got to the trend line near the moving averages and popped today, as I said, nearly 9%. The double top at 15.25 or so is what we need to get through. The target then would be 18. SHAK did it. It made $90 today. Can you imagine that? It's been a phenomenal move from 50 to 90 since mid-April in a month, and in just the last 2 weeks, from 61.5 to 90. So a hell of a run. It's the top of the channel. It's probably overextended, but it may very well reach 100 before it's over. But keep in mind that this stock is overvalued, in my opinion. SEE, another junior oil, having a very nice time of it. Left shoulder head and maybe some kind of extension here, but we are in the verge of breaking out. And today's high of 630 was a fractional move above that line. My target, however, is 8 short term, 10 intermediate. TTPH exploded yesterday. We didn't do anything about it, but I was waiting for a pullback today. We got it. Put a swing trade on. And what I'm looking for to see is if it holds this line and extends, we should see stock in the 50, 55 range, maybe even 60. And UCO, yet another oil-related ETF, looks like it's forming a bottom type pattern. Look at the volume the last 2 days here. Huge on the way back up off support. No question that if you're trading this, the stop is under 43 3/4, but the target is 54.5. If it breaks through that, we could be sailing up towards 60, 64. USO, another ETF in the oil-related sector, after pulling down, has pumped up a couple points in the last couple of days. Well, let's say a point in the last couple of days, but we need to see more upside. I'm looking for a break of this declining tops line, and if that occurs, 22 and then 23 3/4 are targets. Yoku with a big move in the last couple, 3-4 weeks. Boy, has this really had a big move, hasn't it? And look at this spike up today of 395 or 17%. Now that gets it up to resistance here that if broken could lead to as much as 28, 8.5. That's my next target. And we'll call it good for there at that level. This is it for tonight, everybody. Have a good evening.